media to understand. Now, the culture must come with a decoration of an organogram. That is where, even when people say I, in a way, instituted a PR structure for artists in Ghana, I said maybe it didn't even start from Stoneboy. It started from Kumerica. So I drew a structure and said, look, say if some of us are involved, any street culture, then it's something more serious than we thought. Because, look, these boys, some of these boys cry now, say, Oblokrana one opportunity said the Yankasa or radio, so and church, I didn't know it's at that time, Jebad was, you couldn't have called Jebad to explain what they are doing because until the media landscape, even the kind of words to use, some of these city boys near there, but they had the talent. So I came in. Okay, let me understand. Then, so my job was to create a make-believe. That is where intentionality comes in. That is why when you were when I was coming, you were saying, say, being intentional, because no matter what, it is because every statement you want to make in Ghana, you can sit here and make it. And I want to be one of the few people who yes, I don't know a creative industry. Me say you can be a household name nationally and still be resident in Kumasi. And that is why I told the boys. So, I said, okay, then henceforth, if I go on any platform and it's about the sound, it's about the culture, I am speaking. Because Ebia, Jebad, and I setting Kenneth, and I say, yeah, on how to talk mainstream media. The way you describe the sound can make or make the movement. And so, if now Asaka or Kumerica has a PR. So if the mainstream media are criticizing, maybe me will say, I'll let people understand the culture. That is why I came in as a Kumerican PR. And I drew the organogram for them. So it was unofficial, but it was intentional and strategic to make it attractive to the mainstream media. And today, here we are. Grammy is shortlisting genre of music. And Asaka today is the only listed Ghanaian genre that is indigenous to Ghana and Kumasi, as a matter of fact. And here we are.
Right, so such an amazing journey. We've given you the breakdown and the steps. It is in a rush, but then again, I think we should work on a documentary in having all of these things documented. And anyways, let me bring in MC Bernetton. Now, you've also played a part. You've had the opportunity to work with these guys, understand their sound, understand their lifestyle, and understand the individuality of every creative amongst the Asaka group. Why do you think Kumasi became the center of that new wave?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
All right, so it's a pretty interesting, subject, because come to think of it, when the first song from the Asaka camp came out, which was Akata for Abba no Chenku, like the first notable song, it was only available on Audiomack. As of when the song had amassed almost 2.5 million streams. So that should tell you how much money they had lost out prior to that. My involvement from the onset has been about organizational structure, administrative, managerial stuff that has to do with how we can represent the brands beyond just the talent. And as we said in the first session, there is one thing. There wasn't a structure with Asaka. I feel like the blow came by accident. Just as, MC Portfolio said, and they didn't know how to, tame it and control it. There were some opportunities that came and they snubbed them because they didn't know the essence of these opportunities. Currently, my business partner for my media company is someone I met 5 years ago while he was here on a mission to interview Asaka for Apple Music. That is how deep this runs. As a matter of fact, having to sit down with the boys individually has also shed light on how diverse, each creative mind, behaves when they are around certain things they yearn. So, for instance, I have artists in here who wish they had studios of their own, so they can start recording. But then, studio nearby, why lazy? Do you get what I mean? Asaka actually brought up the to-do-ness. Because I mean, there was a whole movement in the Buakwa, Tanoso, Swame, Manso. You know, myself personally, I happen to travel a lot because of the hype man side of my work. You know, I've been to Brekum, I've been to Tamale, I've been to Navrongo, and there are people doing Asaka related sounds. Why? Because these guys had, you know, gone the traditional way and ignored the formal way to approach these things. Back in the day, say we be better when you more radio, so I just say nyame adom and I say odum fu bi na be ya wadom de wonu makoma DJ. But I'm telling you, it has always been as we know it now. The DJ or the producer goes online, finds a song, and they want to, you know, listen to it or put their listeners on it. They download it, play it for the people. It was up until Asaka's emergence and most of the Ghanaian artists, even our A-listers, because Asaka actually changed the entire landscape of the Ghanaian music industry. I'm not going to lie. Obede be drop it Friday, we will be on drop it. I'm telling you. So Obede be drop it. Kwesi Atantimin drop it. But Asaka broke the rules. Because I'm telling you, if any label wants to put their artists in the top hundreds, it costs them money. And to imagine, wow, you're independent and nothing is behind you. So these were some of the things I need boys na bim. Because imagine, even clean version of a song used to be a fight. Imagine just saying, oh, Charlie, you know, engagement where it's likely to introduce you to a new set of audience. They might not get the rationale behind it. Because to them, it's the street. But mechanical crash or street in soon promoting you. So even with the Asaka Boys assistance now, and I'm saying it on authority, maybe in the early 1.5 year of their operations, it was a bit all over the place. But there is an organizational structure in place, so much so that even with the boys on Asaka are doing better than most of our A-listers in the country. And they are right here in Kumasi. They didn't have to leave to Accra. We are turning down interviews in London. We are turning down interviews in US because we are like, oh yeah, agenda na APC pushing. It has to be in our own words. Back in the day, when you want to read something about somebody, their bloggers not strong kwana obeying. This time around, we took control over the narrative. COVID is definitely a blessing in disguise because COVID and bad, we wouldn't have stayed with our phones for long. Mind you, from the onset, Asaka was supposed to be rubbished. I made the same example with Black Sheriff's Sad Boys in the House. We were trolling the gentleman. He was being trolled. They said, I don't know, there was an audio, you know, trending. Really? This same sound today is what Odumodu Black is doing. If you go to Nigeria, Psycho YP, he's doing the same thing. Brooklyn Boys of Congo, they are doing all these things. Like they are kind of ditching the boys. There was never a collective support system prior to the arrival of Asaka. It has always been monopolized. It has always been Accralized. Like, you know, you have to come to Accra for the main things. You have to be in Accra for all the heavy stuff. But Asaka came and jumped that hurdle and opened the floodgates. Asaka for and that is why, you know, I sit here to speak to you guys today. Because if Asaka had built for just themselves, I'm sure most of the artists, I love Kweku Smoke, I love Blacko, I love Bosom Young, I love Darko Vibes, I love me some Omar Sterling, I love me some Ghana Boy. You know, he's a recent addition to the whole Asaka wave sound thing. Come to think of it, say, sounds when you know, do you see now? What these guys will be saying, it will get over your head. It won't make any sense. Most of the times, apart from the education and the insight, it's about systems. So in the first session, you remember, I told you what makes a good management or what makes a good artist. Strategy, management or structures, then being cohesive, being strategic, like be very particular about then our person. We have a lot of MC portfolios in the region. Excuse my language, but Dodona is stomach direction. I saw MC portfolio post something like last week or the last 2 weeks about during when Shatta came to Kumasi for the Kumerican period. Exactly. How many artists? What they make artists will be good, but the management didn't think strategically about it. There are some opportunities you have to pass.
Right. Not to interject or something. Let me speak to that real quick. So I know goes out to artists. The entire me say, "Wait, artist, obia all chains breakthrough now. Obia me sign no. May share pages and how serious you carry yourself. Even time mainstream, you can be an upcoming or emerging or unsung artist and still move like a bro."
Two.
And Che say, Obika say, and you can't say me say, the father said my broken Che me nama, I should look like my problems. The father say the tag at also say, I hate using the word underground artist. So maybe emerging or unsung or promising arts. I would like that. You can still carry yourself as a serious enterprise without necessarily being a mainstream artist. You some emerging or a promising artists are okay page and how they move or more in our crossing mainstream artists be bria or break it through a system no and a hype machinery and put you on there. So when the American wave came, and I'm answering to what my brother Benita is saying, when the American wave came, now Shatta has seen what you were doing. Now that is where I came in. Me didn't want some money attractive. Then Shatta saw that no, this was the new wave. And you know, if you know Shatta Wale, before then, not also standing against the gatekeeper system. But he didn't know how it could be broken beyond just ranting about it. And so he could connect to what the guys were saying. Say, "Oh, let me break this gatekeeper system now." Or no person breaking, but when you so rant, they used some energy. So he connected with them. The reason why the 15,000 bribe that was paid me, because when Shatta came, he said he liked the boys. He wanted some guys to connect with and do a project, a American project with them, because he wanted to feed into the energy and he admired what we were doing. Now he has given me the opportunity to select 4 artists from Kumasi. Just 4. The reason why we also need our people to be in the rooms where conversations are there. Imagine if I was not in the room where I could expand it. Mene Shatta back and forth. We say, no, Shatta, you are coming to join this American movement. We have a lot more to offer beyond just 4 artists. Mene no back and forth. Also say, okay, 5. Mr. Yanyan is 6. Mr. Yanyan is 7. Mene no, he was not excited. But I had to extend because I had seen guys who were moving as solo and upcoming artists that were moving as very serious enterprise with their craft. Until I was able to recommend, say, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Now I'm there and an offer comes. I didn't choose based on the fact that a favoritism. I chose based on the fact that I have seen that this artist is not even waiting for someone to sign them or invest in them, but they are moving like serious people. That is what my recommendation were based on. And so someone offered me a colossal sum. Other than yes, but artists now, or person or them because of always can. At this point in time, the money couldn't speak for them. Going to the artist profile, he was not ready for the opportunity. And so imagine denying someone who has gone through the process, ready for any opportunity because a certain artist or no one can say invest on and he thinks money is everything. No. That is how come I turned down and I made people who are going to, if you're an artist, be ready to meet the opportunity at any time by not waiting for manna to fall. Move as if there is no helper, there is no investor. And that's how come my decision was informed and settled on the 7 act, and I rejected or turned down the guy who was willing to pay me because he himself had not invested to the pedestal that shows that he's ready to meet that opportunity. That was just by the by.
Yeah, so. But Benetton, before you continue, in rejecting that very money, that said artist, where is he now?
So now it looks like that is not true because maybe his management might be watching. They might not take my answer as too much of a toffee, but it doesn't look like he was really ready because there are other opportunities that came. Now, okay, so there is a guy who is signed on to Stone Boys, Beam Nation, Next Generation. Tony Dad, give me a signal. Tony Dad, put your hands together. Anyone who knows Tony Dad from the onset knows that even cry on your mileage, how he moves, it shows that this person on your opportunity, rough. And so when it was time to recommend him to Stone Boy, he said, Stone, if you want to pay me back, please, there is this artist from Kumasi. If you want to have any interest in Kumasi, this guy, check him out. It was easy for Tony Dad to get the opportunity because even M1 by how he was moving like a serious artist. And I'm talking now, he has been shortlisted to be a Beam Nation Next Generation artist. And that is Tony Dad over there.
That's nice.
That artist today has given me a reason to believe that I still wouldn't have made a good choice because he doesn't even look like this music. He still want to do it. So let your preparation be ready for the opportunity at any time. And I'm watching, you might not know. Over to you,
Benetton, a wrap up.
Yeah, so, it looks like I struck a nerve right there. But yeah, to be very honest with you guys, what you need the most is A&Rs. A&Rs. You can Google it right now. Artists and repertoire. You need them. If Asaka is very successful, if Asaka is doing global, if Asaka is in the headlines, if Asaka is being featured in Vice, BBC, blah, 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 it's because the right people, as Portfolio said, are in the right rooms at the right time, saying the right stuff. If I wasn't the only Ghanaian in the room in Nigeria some 2 weeks ago when Spotify was discussing the future for hip-hop in Africa, I couldn't have interjected with my artist or the artist I'm working with from Ghana. Go and look at Malawians, people speaking Swahili, Kosa, Kasa Yentiasi, Omu Pushis Omonyum the next in Africa. Why is it that Ghana and Nigeria are the only ones at the forefront of the come back to Africa, come home communication, our conversation with the people in the diaspora? Because we've amplified it enough for them. As creatives, being prepared is not always about, going over your lines and, hitting every bar. It's about being very particular about your message. Asaka, you don't nasia. Almost asaka kra ya ho abakosem e wo ho no ma wo kra uti vibes keke. I want to use this platform to announce to you that Kenneth from the Asaka group is dropping an album very soon. And this album will change everything you know about Asaka. Everything, I mean everything you know about Asaka is going to change because the landscape is shifting. The global market is watching. And you need to tap in. You need to tap in. Quit being complacent. Yes, dear, oya na nyama okukuamu no on share na kwine. But you are the first person to come up on that path. And if you're able to bring smart ones along, please, your utterances, your songs, your affiliations might either open pathways to, support the next generation of artists, executives, media personnel, or even platforms in the near future, or derive us of any of these opportunities. Why? Because, Melvin, why? Because most of these guys fail to, first of all, acknowledge. I'm telling you, what Portfolio did was first pro bono. The minister said it the first time, I think when he was giving his speech. He was like, yeah, lawyer 4P now, free work. It's true. I do. I've taken a lot of boys on radio. Kalexma is here. Jupiter is here. Even K official, he knows. There are boys I buy someone say, oh, Melvin, yes, sir, and we know what we are looking for in return. But some of these guys, it looks like you wanted a one-hit wonder. I'm telling you, if you are supposed to blow as an artist and your destiny says you are to blow in the next 6 months, or destiny said, die in the next 6 months, then when you're blow, it's going to take you to consistently release. Like, you guys are even fortunate to this era. TikTok is free, Instagram free, Facebook free. You can just put everything you have online. Instagram requires you to post at least 7 times a day posts 7 times. How many times do you post on your Instagram? Once in a blue moon, once every 2 weeks, once every month, and you want people to see you. And more battle, no? They have systems. I'm telling you, when Kwame was here, I mentioned to you that there is a whole system. I who artists will be releasing you next week. Intimate be releasing you, may steady. Me drop him. How I'll go about my promotion. Some songs, just leave it, bro. Or drop here. My whole time, your other projects, come back, work on content, keep posting, keep pushing it. The more they see it, the more they engage, and the wider your reach. We all can't, be number one at the same time. I've been number one. When I say I mean O Kenneth has been number one since last year March. After he dropped Yimaye. Number one, Apple Music, number one. And it's not by luck. If we are to tell you the sleepless nights we have in the studio, just to have a song sound a certain way, the sleepless nights you have to, stay up, talk to people in America, talk to people in Brazil, just to help you push your song. I bet it was an airplay and count it. But everybody who is on Apple Music for artists, go and check your place. They say Apple or County Radio plays as part of your streams. You are going to be taking royalties for that, and you will take publishing for that. Most of you don't know. If you use Apple Music right now, put in YFM Kumasi. YFM Kumasi on Apple Music. Most people don't know. That is why Apple will count your music as a stream, plus it being played on the radio station. These people will gatekeep the knowledge to the extent that say artists ne per se or get it close and that was the situation prior to Asaka's emergence. Before Asaka Babebano, like you're diminishing Kumasi vibe to everybody out there, and it's so saddening. Some of the best producers, creators from Ghana are from Kumasi.
And ladies and gentlemen, currently Ghana's best producer of the year for Ghana Music Awards is Kendi Beat.
Right here, give it up for him, bro.
Yes. The reigning best producer of the year is a Kumasi guy. Yes.
So, Abusianfo, you feel me? To be very honest with you, I've had this conversation with, if not tens of thousands, like probably hundreds. We started this agenda like some 3-4 years ago. Dito came through, Kwame Ban, and MC Portfolio also did some. Myself and Melvin some years ago, we did the same thing. Yeah, Mr. Bones alongside Kendi right here, Mr. NY DJ from YFM. We've been actually trying to amplify. But the truth is, mindsets, sorry, the creatives. You really cherish the ignorance, Sometimes, I know, to be doing things by the book, a bit long, kakra. Imagine someone you be releasing your name, say, and sign a contract. Now, contract, now, name the annual you. Baby, our expectation that. Nipan is only 70-30, 50-50. When I was if you don't think long term, how many 50% from each song are you going to make to buy you that dream house? I know musicians here in Ghana. And I'm under NDAs. I can't be mentioning names. But minimum Crawford, they make $100,000 every month from name streams. Streams, so when you're publishing, streams, and it is going to shock you. Had it not been Asaka, even Ghana's market cap for how much we make from streams, it was little to nothing, almost 2 cents. Now when you 2 cents and they drew $1. Now when you say I could do $100, what are you telling me? As it stands now, even Ghana pays higher than Nigeria. It's only more Ghana. Sika Obinyana so say Nigeria. But how many Ghanaian artists are taking advantage of that? And we are shocked when we go into our top hundreds, we are seeing Nigerian music, South African music, because they know the potentials they find here. I'm not saying do the music for the charts, but I should see a pattern. I met an artist out there like a while ago, and after exchanging contacts, I went onto his Apple Music catalog. First thing I did was to scroll to the very last thing. When it was the first time he dropped the song, and I saw 2023. So I can see that he's been working over the years. That is what you have to prove. And now about say what drop it back in March. December, no, I be drop it back. Could be yenton. Make it only top on more. Uwa unya show but on contribute to BBR. All you do is keep posting. You and girls, you and Shayo, you and Igbo, like you are just vibing. At the end of the day, you make we the executives who are from the region look stupid. Maybe you don't know. But imagine say obi a artist from Kumasi or call radio so or Accra. Now untimi nya any engagement with even one radio station in Kumasi. You know what that means for the region. We live here and we go to Sunyani to promote our songs. We live here, we go to Brekum, ye Treki, or ye the Nyomne Nam from your tone, say Male. We are going, ye go door to door, ye bunk for Ghana Boy, if you don't want to listen, you listen to him. We promoted Ghana Boy through senior high schools on his come up. And if you see Ghana Boy, you know, reigning with the 16, 17 to 21-year-olds, they will say, oh, boy, and I then Kolani Penasem. No, we've made sure you are tailoring the contents to suit in Kolani demands. That is what Asaka brought. At that moment, Ghana ya bread and a rap, and a debiana or do you need their manema. We need the real stuff. We need like Nyama Yebits Maiden, you're related to. Look at Kweku DMC. Look at Old Kenneth, CD City Boy, Rap Bank. These are different facets of talent. And when they come together, something like out of this world. That is what we actually need to put our minds to. Learn to open yourself up and, you know, learn to be very collaborative. Because if you keep to yourself, you might not be able to even get there. Imagine Brad Bank failed to, you know, honor MC Portfolio for his expertise. The problem with Kumasi, and I have it with almost every creative, for Jupiter and the rest, they know, I've been saying this all the time. In social networks, if you are not sure, please sit home. And you make juma na eka ejuma. Inti se himself person oye nyom, o person oye creative. Now we need sika akope sika bra. Let's be honest to the guys.
Very true.
Yes,
very,
please.
very true.
You can't come and engage me. You can't come and engage me, and at the end of the day, not expect MC Portfolio spotlight your sound, and you won't be available for an interview. You are messing the relationships up.
It has actually happened on many times, and I do understand you. And for someone like you and Portfolio yourself, when we talk about music, I know how emotional it becomes because it is something you've seen firsthand, the improvement and the investment, and also the positivity it comes with. Let me not interject you, but come to that is Candy Beat for an individual who's also be a part or who's been a part of that genre in that very way. I'd want to find out the importance of local studios and producers in shaping the Kumasi sound.
Oh, well, I would say it's I'm in country.
Feel free.
I need Brian Casanaba. You need Brian Cabrofo. For my thing said 2021 said they may bring for a Cabri now. Na Kumasi ankasa ufi Kumasi emeze wono yehu ze wasa no ye target artist bia wasa bia say Kumasi rapper to say new wave no ebe take you over by 2020 2021 coming it no ye bra yin nuanom asaka for no omo say ho am attention about Kumasi the true that no ana me say cry no me dinya my first breakthrough. In a sense, yeah, but sorry.
Oh, you can clap.
It's, you know, it's like me, you're good, but attention, I'm banker, OBM. So now you're talk, the studio boy. It's, you know, I'm recording, yeah, but sorry. And I feel reminiscing about upcoming producer, OBM from Kumasi. Also, so no reminiscing on Stormzy and Kwesiata. So just imagine. Oh, some master gazi moho, kiwa moho. Say, okay, wanna share project. Somebody like Stormzy, upcoming producer. So not any easy, but that was my chance not to lose. It's no, I honor. Make us say, oh, you producer now, you artist. Ben on toho, Emma. Opportunity. Forget Sika, forget Bibia, forget Bibia, being a toho for now. Any the first thing because the Boka Coton one day, Adrian and Adrian in that no matter how advertised be. He's scared division said, and yet, Boka, Tim Messer being on toho. And initially, no, the project no Sunday. Chris Rachel outside. Same kono name Master Mason. But when to me, I meet your money. So they had to create a group. You know, Stormzy from every Def Jam, and I also Empire. Back then, and these great labels, no, a creative group man, and the top engineers bear 5 and you. So, and they say you will make it cool or more. Say media German Panama can also my review. Somebody a minimum sa. I mean, can sa. So, I had to return the project for like 9 times. Wait till Mr. Bones. That I know a creative director, my talk, so it wasn't easy. It's 9th time now, I'm more accepted because Def Jam, Empire, top producers. It's I'm on my came here, I'm with you to Miss Okay, but sorry, rebels, Embra out, no. Now, I'm seeing a brave film. Now, I'm seeing a lot to meet the world class sound. And they say, it'll be nature, one as they say. It's true that chance, the Shia de Yoho. As I be your demo. It's a 50 horn by and a baby ball, same because I got to know, say, Joe Naba, your Ghanaian Joe. It's I was say a born Ghana for us, Kakra. And it's that day, any same vibe. I said, Joe, I used to look Kakra. And it did YP, Akushi, that sound in Joe. And I make a boom. And Sana, toss why I drew came Paluta Moside. I said that, Bakoma, for the popping, a woman. All the great songs, even Osir Chrome, Chatters, nobody knows them may record their songs. Like you said, it's a baby. At least be banner optional or potential now. Mean keska sempo. Because the mindset, maybe who say no, and that's sound I was say the age man. Sika, Uchia, no, I very record it. Obu a level. May a big producer or many big people in the age man. It's an underground bar of a money down. But me anya upcoming artist I'm blue. So Mebra, Messer, now Oka Bibi said, on Pesica and Son of Abatuno. This so do a money BB free cry, because the benefit. Because A Bianca, yow, my fan is or your studio boy, main charge, Ananka, chance nearby, I could go studio for. And I sent called them to business level. Predator and Kembani are there, but a nice say upcoming producer, yeah, but sorry, a big song like that. Now on our year now tag that so I would say am I doing nine sika am I doing PR am I doing sanya mano yenshe enyum no yenshe enyum na ye it's no otimi enyum A B no I na say hey on the one ho na DBS say the ebra fana kan sound no sesa DBS it's no Mesro men can I say, Messer and I say, me and Kika your home boom. Yes, your home. Because up to now, may forget to say me current music producer. Me call or Mammy Jom with Jose Kusiadi. Oh, yeah, artist, there's nothing wrong. So, or young co artist, and will be on him, your metro, I bet you my master told me hate. It's my mommy and sister, the mindsets, nay, the animal. And then they go into forget your foot to a drama once it's our Adria and Channel Adrian say a Jumana way who see dying. See ye boss, pintia, ye dino. It's a releasing young 1, 2, 3 years, MS, but to say, Ubed Wavy, Nana say, I was saying, Kawahate by this time. I was saying, Kawahate by this time. So, Mr. Womema Macassa and one. My fancy and Nakakana Makano.
Yes, amazing. I think my brother was not on the same page with Bennington, connection with the financial muscle that you need to have in order to pursue this music. But perspective now, I think said now Bennington free banner. Perspective now benefit free bano and I'm a person me BM kakra na can the direction now kind of. You see, one of our dear Bakwa a high and crow for a waha with time now people have grown to accept the reality. A Biso have not still snapped out of that mentality, a entitlement. Your creatives in there wahano whether movie, whether whatever. When they are coming to the industry, they come with the mindset of entitlement. Say, kumasi need dear, you are obliged to put me on. You can meet someone. The engagement, or by be a cry, and also but ocean the engagement, oniska, only the financial muscle. But how on one kasa invest when he pays money, the willingness to even support, say, oh, senior, how do you say, BBC cry, and I need by and no ma uhune mindset. And so, Ochina okay, Kendi yo ni pro bono. Ochina obana se Kendi speak about what saying to say Jale my slow me speak about ko as saying to be abe for the next 2 months minye juma. What they are saying. So some of the artists were to me go, oh Charlie, so this one like you did buy new one, like maybe what I go need some mindset in the crano. Ebe mani pano cry say why not just so bet charge your crow bet me because of the thoughtfulness. So yes, you really need money to pursue this music business. BBI will be a favor and grace home. May someone could meet me or share me na me name divinity a best strike him and say put this person on. But you don't come with the mindset of incitement. Say MC portfolio. Say we kumasi there. You bow ho anti. Adena ye there waja emu. Oba with that self-entitled mindset na me few here. But you obu how to me say wabone ho sa de no obeye. Obu okra onim where to channel the resource now we're gathering to the right places. Ebu ha ebu ateku na simple or be secure expertise on how to channel this teku or simple at the right places. Say anipano you can't put him on say okay because of the seriousness you have shown and I say being unyan share me krano I've seen what you've been doing with your craft you know I'll put you on and no sir no there but don't come with the mindset say self entitlement you know you kumasi for me say oh yes I didn't mean what they are saying then briefly. How our people here also approach the business? And Mami sa tip way answer. There are many young artists, hungry, passionate artists, are more person break it through. May catch you not to embarrass. Say, common, regular, basic email address. Email address. If you are and you know sound, or more shape the sound. Of Asaka and as a producers, they will tell you say medium be okra or send material be quality near then a dropping. And to show your seriousness, no, an artist you are approaching a certain Mr. Bones, a certain K official, and I say any music executive. Let me tell you guys, most of you don't even know how to approach your helpers or potential helpers or music executive. Meaning say artist biti ha wabome hi hello good morning and that's what me DM me reply because you don't even know how to start a conversation. And I'm telling you the reason why you are an upcoming artist, that message of yours has not been replied yet is because your approach is wrong. A busy person like Mr. Bones, K official, myself or any other person over here, what about the good morning waiting for the person to come and reply good morning, how are you, before say asem na obezo catch him, no catch him. You don't even know how to start a conversation. Know how to start a conversation. Go straight to the point. Be concrete and precise about the reason why you want to approach the person. You catch the person's attention amongst tons of messages are also ready. So first and foremost, know how to approach music executive, even if via WhatsApp or whatever. Go straight to the point. So and so, please, my name is so. Maybe we met at Ashanti Music Fest. I was very enthused about this, and I'm messages I'm would any detail to me answer. 2, professionalism. If you finally catch my attention, now catch yourself, send me your materials. Now, Ebia, I'm expecting you, boss. Do I send via which medium do I send? Number one, so we are serious. Email, can I have your email? This. Then I see, say, even crowd one kasa usunya self-management before you wait for your prospective manager. How many of you here, artists here, know about EPK? One artist EPK da. EPK. It means that beyond your you only know how to make music, but you have not learned around the. It's who approaching Mr. Bones. Now one sending EPK. Me, oh yeah, imagine artist. Me nya enko me open me more and no masa konya attention say me research about you. It is a make also send me your materials, sir. Ebia what send them through email. Email no all the subject naka home. Please, this is a track of my album, so and so. My name is Lami Jr. Currently, Lami Jr. is a guy who has caught my attention. Yes, put your hands together for that gentleman. One of the guys also shaping the new sound. Me who saw potential say so ni muya. Wa catching my attention without me. I approached Lami Jr. I didn't I? Did you know me? But you wanted to meet me, right? But you didn't know I was monitoring you. That is how I do my stuff, because you had prepared yourself for the opportunity. So, EPK no, why you bibia say who approaching music executive bia and you now we busa say what is your name? Okay, which album are you doing? Well, your friend electronic press kit. One kasa what you want, what drafted or profile, what you have been up to, who you are, the project you are working on, and maybe this project you are promoting near that. Send this material, it contains is an embodiment of what you represent and what you have been doing. So I can easily read about you and know if I can decide on the next step. Hi, good morning. Yes. So one thing I'm saying is, hear music now. Learn about how to approach the business beyond the talent. Our people don't know how to approach the whole thing with some level of professionalism, and you should learn a lot. Now, obu oha sebi onyom no. Ewo enyoma I was sending no. Vulgar wom. We are not against vulgar, but say oh send me as a music executive. No say oh send a certain portfolio or on radio. So radio no who street words no and cut it for radio. Into the original song they send him. Then you say a senior. This material is also an edited or radio friendly version of song now my end, because I know in case you might play on radio, it makes you look like a serious artist waiting for an opportunity. I will give you audience over the tons of message that I have. So please learn around the approach to the business beyond cooking music, and you marvel say opportunity bar. You are always in the conversation. That is my 2 cents on
free consultation for you. Let's take some questions. Let's take some 3 questions. Then we can move on. 3 questions. Now I'd wanted to ask Kendi. I was seeking the right kind of sound bite. Or is it sound bite or the right kind of sound? Because just as Portfolio said, there are sometimes people send me a song. You know, when you listen to a song on the phone, it sounds different. When I play it in the studio, it sounds different. Is there a particular rate of sound or a format or a number of byte rate or whatever that a sound should have to actually sound quality and also professional for other individuals to have a feel of? That it would never change. Because if I listen to it on my phone, it's giving me a different sound. If you listen to it in the speakers in the studio, it's also giving you a different sound. It's either it is on the low or way too high. So is there a particular sound maybe artists should tell producers to save their sound in, whereby it actually sounds clear for everyone? Before we take the questions in a quick snap.
Okay, thank you for the question. Firstly, I would say a young sound and file format and ammonia.
Okay.
BBI naturally say ABI FBB bit rate. And on our better so I say pipe will be Kessia, a back a say we feel be a ketua, a back ketua. It's like that. But sound not say what or phone so separate. I say oh feel near different. A body different or phone so no like about speaker can see more add a boy be a no. I think say I don't know got to do with mixing no. It's me and I'm producer somewhere. You know, if you don't know, you have to learn. Yeah, well, meters be I was a sound on the rich. It is a what the meter no at all sound so before I saw bounce I'm a DJ and artist nangasana. I was say Drew said the bear M blasted and I say M bucket tour. But say need no day announce you know sound announce you no say bear preno. Inti na ye wo ho no. Ti say oh no artist say o de onyom koma producer and a beat maker or recorder na onya ni ye a ye wo mixing engineer wo ho, ye wo mastering engineer wo ho. To get a jumano any de e hie he nyina say the maker no suade ne ye product na enya forget it. It in the say oh de ade ne che e bia senior not just say chale hana is I say ya. No producer here should get offended. Say obi beje ne stems say o de komo bia master. Me say mo madika kan say mindset mo me yensesa no. Na yenye collabo. E bia obetimi abo beat. Oje gegina oh brawi obetimi amex it. Dark obeje say. Say si oni ateso. E no kumasi he ya. Me producers and makers em ne omuhia na ade ni nyina. Ma nko akra. Ma nko bebia. Amekum ha ya. A woman, I'm become the for the puppet, I'm become. I'm become here. So, it should tell you, say, and yet, just do the right thing. Now, yes, so DJs so yes, smooth.
Right. Any other question? Anyone with any question? Okay. So, Franca, let's take, we are taking 3 questions, and I can see 3 hands up already. So, Franca, let's take them then. We'll get the answer, then we'll move on.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Before we take the questions, this is to remind you that this program is being broadcast on Ashanti Prime TV on all social media platforms.
Thank you. My name is Bernard. You see up here. In fact, somehow enthused with this particular event. What I want to ask is that, see, when all the people here looks at me and looks at the stage, then they could decipher the difference. So I can tell you that a few of us here are at my age. And then some of you at the stage are also at a different age. That is what I want to explicitly differentiate before I go on to my question. And my question is that, especially I want to start with the Asaka group. You see, you are my younger brothers. I want to put it in that way. That you are my younger brothers. And we have listened to music for decades. And I mean decades. Just yesterday, I was at a certain spot. And when they were playing songs like Wycliffe, and then Shabarangs is just 60 years January. And some other artists around the globe. And then I was dancing, and a certain young lady was asking me that, hey, do you know all these songs? And I said, it came in my time, but you are playing them at your spot today. I have to dance to it. And the question to you, Asaka, that's why I'm saying I'm starting from you. Tomorrow, will I be dancing to your songs? We are in a month which we call the Ghana month, which is March. And we want to feel that the music that probably we are dancing today, in the next 10 years, the people who will follow suit with us will be dancing to that same songs. And that is what I want to ask. Because Sonny Okuson sang his music some years back. But when he converted into Christendom, today we are dancing to his songs after 30 years. Is it what you are doing for us? Or you are doing at your age, and after a few years, we are done with it?
Okay.
That is the question.
So I understand the question is about the longevity of a sound. So that would get into that one. Let's get another question.
Dave, Otis, how are you? Yeah, I'm proud of you guys. I'm an intimacy. Mine is a request to the Honorable Regional Minister. As a Cowboys and others have been promoted through our secondary school activities, especially the SRC Week celebration. Of late, Charles has come out with a ban or a directive banning all schools from patronizing the services of these young guys. And through this platform, their music or talent have been promoted. So please, Regional Minister, I'm begging you to at least have an engagement with Charles so that we can have them back in our schools. This year's celebrations, no artist. I don't know a school which engage the services of an artist to promote what we call Ghanaian music. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very laudable. And we'll have the regional minister answer that one. Let's take the last question. Let's take the last question from that end. No, I gave you the opportunity in the first session. So let's give the opportunity to someone who's not asked the question. So to ask the question, yes. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for understanding.
Pacho Medini Kobe Notes, me a music producer. Pacho Medini Kobe Notes, me a music producer. We're talking about the pandemic a day as a car buy. So the whole thing is there are a lot of artists who are doing a lot of genres. It's not only Asaka. So what's the way forward for us to?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Franca, first off, before we answer the other questions, let's give the opportunity to the regional minister to have a say on what the teacher from the secondary school also had to say.
Thank you very much. So to begin with, we want a very positive influence on our kids at the senior high school. I think that one of the major concerns for them was the introduction of drugs and other culture within the senior high schools that were becoming worrying. Once we are set in our mind that music in our contemporary society is still to promote our culture, to promote our national patriotism, and it is set to even encourage and even be able to support our students, I think it shouldn't be difficult to be able to get some of these things through. The reason for which these forums and summits are very important, but it brings us closer. There are some of the things we are saying, yes, I am young, but I'm even not privy to them. Once we keep this engagement going on, I think that we should be able to get a delegation to engage us, to engage GES, so that even if it is not a whole scale as it used to be, we can give some rules of engagement and begin with that. Once that works out, I'm sure we should be able to have it restored in its full essence. So I've taken that as a charge, and as an outcome from this summit, definitely I'll push it further and discuss it further.
Thank you very much. So that is the clarity you have over there. Yeah. Okay, so Kumasi Girls Headmistress would also want to have a say.
Thank you so much. I shouldn't have said anything, most especially when our Honorable Minister has spoken. But I want to put on record that Charles isn't against anyone's talent.
Okay.
The reason the region came up with Ashanti Regional High School Music Fiesta to discover talents. But as Minister mentioned when he came in his intro message to us, the charges, the way some of your artists charge us when they are coming to perform in our schools. And when they come, they don't spend even up to 30 minutes. And it is really a whole lot of issues. You know, every policy has its own rules and regulations. Free SHS policy frowns on collection of monies. And so we as CHAS members, we don't have the monies to pay. And students will have to do the contribution to be able to pay for the activities that they engage in during the SRC week. And they will go back to their parents because they do not work. And parents then complain that free SHS, we are not supposed to pay money, and schools are collecting monies. It comes with a whole lot of issues. Number two, as Minister mentioned, your artists take to their pages or their social media handles and advertise where they would be. Security is a problem. The rate or the number of youth, the town folks, and in all humility, we do not judge book by its cover, but some books can easily be judged by the covers. And so when you see the sort of boys that will scale the wall, they don't even walk through the school gate, and it's a female institution, it's a mixed school, even if it's a boys' school, it's scary. And so it gained the popularity, and at national level, Charles decided that certain aspects of our SRC week celebration could be dropped for the tertiary institution so that some aspects could be carried at the secondary level, where we will be sure of sanity and everyone's safety. So we are not against the talent, but what goes with it.
Right. Thank you very much for that clarity. It was worth having that very discussion too as well. So my senior colleague, Odiska, who is also the producer for the morning show on Insure 104.5, spoke about longevity. And I know for him, he's an individual that also goes ways back in listening to times of music and stuff like that. So with the longevity of music, as to after 20 years, after 15 years, is what we are doing now by way of production and by way of churning out music going to resonate with people who are going to come after us after 30 years?
Interesting. In my earlier submission, I said how this revolution was met with a certain kind of energy from the mainstream media. Any revolution comes with some certain level of resentment and opposition. You see, when I'm asked to mention sounds or genre of music that you think has longevity or certain duration of a lifespan, many of you, I think, will go for high life, right? Some probably might go for hip life. Some other music. When you are being told about how Boga High Life gained a seat when Palm One music or the indigenous high life was reigning, you marvel. Every music revolution is met with different reaction from an age group that do not understand the culture and the kind of niche they are trying to target. Inti Boga High Life Eba, now more Palm One music, Ebia, Ejako ni Momonia, they are because Edian Namoko Broche, Nijema, Mubaya, Mudi Nioma Befra, High Life Yanamuye, Munyumi, Enche. But Lumba is actually a Boga High Life artist. Sata Mobile, not Palm One music, Monene Wohono. The revolution of hip life, Eba, na Oman Omye High Life, Boga High Life, na Omoso Yeno. No, Musi, na Diana Mosomo allow, and Kofoya Mombabe and Yuma and Chas, say, Radio or Mote. Kasa basa basa. Abekan high life. The intention of Reggie Raston during the advent or birth of hip life was say, okay, Ghana for high life. Mesomiti abroche, my oriented to a culture that is called hip hop. And then you for be so eba, they are disconnecting with sa culture. So let me marry the two. And also let me borrow high life, high from here, and then the pop from here. I mean, hip life. It was met with different energies and reaction. But then the age bracket as are then related to that revolution. So then it became a culture. What I'm saying is that it's okay for my boss to feel a certain kind of disconnect and target on the fact that he's hoping that the culture that we are in or experiencing now will have that lifespan. But I say unto you, I'm not forcing to be your phone. But there is market for every type of music that you are doing. Perhaps situational ebemo afisa anyom no enyan kleke untia. And mind you, at that time it was a gatekeeper system. Obo artists are no obonidi. Shabaranks near the ade. at that time, if there were varieties or options that didn't pass through a gatekeeper system and consumers were left to pick their favorite or the taste, if there were no test makers, because at that point, Shabarans was made famous because he had a label that pushed it on the listeners. People who were not opportune enough or didn't have the opportunity to have labels, and Shabarans. And so you were only privy to what the labels or the machinery or the media landscape has pushed on you. So, of course, you were near limited material to be consumed over and over again. So it's okay to have that nostalgia. Now, the windows has been opened wider. Every day, how many now can say how every day they have
250,000, bro, every day average.
The channels now into one shot. The music is sounding perishable, but it's not because it's perishable. It's because it's easy for anyone at all to introduce material for consumers to accept it without passing through any other channel. So you might judge the lifespan of music based on the fact that you were testing for Shabarans because that time few materials were introduced to you. But there is market for every type of music. When I'm 50, and I'm still feeling cool, and I'm still able to dress like a Gen Z, and my son comes, say, what dress here, say me. That means so me dress here. Still, my draping will hit. Me say, hey, yeah, time near free baby, my draping. Me bar, ni ashisha Nikes, no akata bar, no one, no, my phone. This is still sound that will resonate with me. So I'm saying that, yes, you might put it on the lifespan or the duration. But it's because as a then, Shabarans was not competing too much with a lot of material. Here, our attention are divided. Someone is a TikTok superstar, but he's not even known on Twitter. Someone is a Twitter superstar, he's not even known over here. Now, our attentions are divided across and we have so many materials to choose from. So it creates the make-believe that the kind of music we are doing can't stand the test of time. But I can assure you, that the reason why the Asaka is able to make it to Grammy shortly is because the boys were intentional about going unorthodox. They didn't do it the local way. That is why Besine Minjini say Edru baby ye dom ye baku mienu ye dom eya akata fo nwumo but ye de amamre apete so said in the next 50 years ye nyina ye gada ye ho ne ye choboy no ye penwuma replace choboy a ye betimi de dom. So Asaka is an intentional sound, making sure that the youth do not disconnect with it even when they are 50. So we have a plan for it, and we are hoping that it still makes you feel like a Shabaran sound in the next 10 or 20 years. So yeah, we are hopeful.
Thank you very much, MC Portfolio. I think the last question was thrown as to why Asaka and what of the other genres and stuff like that.
So
in a very quick one.
Yeah, quick one. So the problem is we are not trying to spotlight Asaka over other genres. You get what I mean? My guy, we are not spotlighting Asaka over other genres. The fact is, Oba ye diemuha asin kumase hasea. Asaka ne ye main agenda. For some time now, it's been hip life. We are all rapping. We are all trying to do trap. But the fact that you have to communicate with people with another language and the cultural disconnect. For instance, you trap, but ufri Ghana has it, and I auto you say low deck. Now no baby replace low deck and I low deck never be you free. You get what I'm saying? So we see somebody like what's his name? Or say Krum Sikeni doing trap, but then it still connects to the Asaka main agenda. Here they say, you classify as Asaka. Then so let's kind of contribute towards the Asaka agenda. Because at the end of the day, this is ours. Because if you're able to term your song or classify your song as Asaka, say you recognize songs in that genre, and I say yeah, song and the span, and to say what DNA, you are definitely going to make a short list. You get what I'm saying? We are not taking you out. I don't know what genre of music you do. But then, whether be it hip hop, hip life, rap, whatever, we are not saying Inimu. But then, Asaka is like the region's main focus now. And I don't speak for everybody here. So far as I am, concerned, Asaka is the main thing I push. I said, China, what do you eba na chia? You be to educhi.
And the fact that you feel marginalized there, you feel say your boss will be around Asaka. One of the reasons why I was able to facilitate or open up the conversation of Kumereka beyond Asaka, and I feel your pain. The reason why, ideally, I could have made Asaka Boys collaborate with Shatawale as I did. But I felt that no, I didn't want the conversation of everything Kumasi to be Asaka. We have a certain Amrado, we have a certain face, we have a certain Frimpong, Kweku Flake, and all that. And so I was able to plant the other side of the music scene that doesn't have too much PR like Asaka. That is why the opportunity went to Kempaluta that time. I mean, this is one of the major mainstream feature Kempaluta had. I introduced him to Shatawale. I introduced Amrado. I introduced YP and the boys. No, YP had a relationship with Shatta already. I introduced most of the boys. It meant that I didn't want the PR machinery around what America stands for to be only Asaka. That is why now the reigning, one of the biggest arts in Ghana right now is Kempaluta, and he doesn't even do Asaka. What they are saying. So we are not marginalizing any other sound. But what we are saying that as a collective, it is Asaka that has opened the door for any other person to feel proud to be stationed here and do music. Because one, it is Asaka that has broken a certain inferiority complex. First, young crowd for the crime. Na so mo ko media to a no mo suro se o mo disclose o mo so mo fi Kumasi because tag be there so no mo nyina mo. Now everyone wanted to be a American. All of a sudden, everyone,
trust,
including Shatta, everyone wants to be a American.
But quick one.
Yeah.
5 years ago,
yeah,
when I came to Kumasi, it was never cool to dress like the way
I'm
dressed. No. You know, some of you might know me with the blonde hair or the green hair or something. We made it cool. We made it cool. Go to Accra and go and see the hype men or the other artists. Yeah, Americanize it, the style of Ghanaian street fashion. What Free the Youth is doing, KJTR boys started right there. KJTR. What Free the Youth is doing today, Kumasi da. We've always been the blueprint. My problem is, Yenja say we are quick to kind of deviate from the main thing. Ebinisa okay, we say onyomo nyasaka. You get what I mean? But who cares, bro? Obibe who abontin sisi the way our dressing. Akata automatically the American agenda na yede tu ni team say asaka phone na address akata ana America phone. They refer to you as that. You take the tag, you go with it. You get somewhere and because you are Ghanaian, because of maybe Asamoah Gyan adi or World Cup, you know, football mu obi bepe wa asem, just like that.
That is a conversation that will continue after the summit. So if you have any other questions, let's just keep it and continue with this one. We'll also have another media individuals also here coming for the media summit. So let's allow them that very chance. And want to say thank you very much for being a part of this very conversation. And also a big thanks going out to our panel members also for showing up and also giving us that education. I'll leave it to Franca for now for the closing remarks, and then we can continue. Ladies
and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. Today we have heard about global opportunities. We learned strategies for music exports. We learned about branding, production, streaming, and stagecraft. We connected with artists, producers, and industry leaders who are shaping the future. On behalf of the Honorable Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene, the organizing team, our speakers, and our panelists, and to everyone who made it possible, we say thank you. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for believing in Ashanti Fest 2026. We have reached the end of what we call truly an extraordinary summit.
Thank you very, very much. Let's make way for the media summit as well. And let's keep clapping for our panel members. For every individual that would need a create that very platform to link, you can actually take their numbers as well. So please, let's sit down. Okay, so for upcoming artists, I'm told that you are registering outside. So I beg of you, you can go outside and register. If you're an upcoming artist, we are taking your numbers outside for registration. So please do join them as well. Let's take a musical interlude. And let me call on Armed Forces Senior High School. Give us a musical interlude whilst we exit POG Band. Okay, so Armed Forces, hold on for me. So POG Band would give us that musical interlude whilst we exit the space for the media summit as well to take over. Thank you very much for being a part of this very, very event. So POG Band, take us away. Okay, so I'm told that the students are staying for the media summit, but the upcoming artists and as well other music hall executives could also exit the space. For MIG students, please do come inside. MIG students, come inside. For the senior high school students, I'm told you are staying behind for the media summit. If you're an MIG student and you are out there, please do come inside. For the music executives and the musicians themselves, you can exit the space and also make way for the media summit. POG band, give us that musical interlude.
POG band, my band.
Yes, sir.
I want Lumba.
TV. Aha, and I'm not carrying the wall. Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, and I'm not carrying the wall. Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, and I'm not carrying the wall. Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, and I'm not carrying the wall. Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, and I'm not carrying the wall.
Ashanti Prime TV, and I'm telling you, no boy, my Jimega. You do yourself to the art. Nay, and some Cassian Qua, so pet and some no credit at ye, and now will pass some papa. I want Ashanti mem, Ghana memo baby, we are some baby at ye, share Ashanti Prime TV, a horn and a creno, and walk. Me see Ashanti Prime TV. So, but you tell you super, and now pe baby, and someone ye cano. Unko bisu bi na pe no kure wo mu a hwe Ashanti Prime TV no kure no ahanko ana wo.
Amen. Nyame nhyira. Nyame enyo biara kese. Midin e the Reverend Emmanuel Fojo. Nyame ayadom ama Ashanti Prime adwene ho pa yie. Na ohun se na watwe bia eyese wo hyase na odi awurade nyankopon hyase nti wafa dwumade bi e de aba yato ne din God's hour onyankopon emre na wo nyankopon mre so no ye bebo mpaye ye betie awurade nyankopon asem na ema owura mfi se